Hey Scouts, it's Program Ranger Shea with Capital Area Council Boy Scouts of America here at beautiful Camp Tom Wooten, our Cub Scout camping facility in Bastrop, Texas. I'm glad you're joining me today for another story in craft. We're adding a craft to our story time today. Oh, mine started to blow away. So we're going to read Arrow to the Sun today. And after I read the story, I'm going to make a craft that you can either do along with me or do later for your family and bring some nature into your house. So we're going to make sun catchers. So to make these sun catchers, you will need some clear contact paper. It's like shelf liner. It's in the kitchen section in stores. And then you're going to need to go out and pick some really pretty flowers or cool leaves. And then some scissors, a hole punch or a way to make holes, and some string. I'm using yarn right here. So when we're done reading our Arrow to the Sun story, we will make our sun catchers. So the Arrow to the Sun is a Pueblo Indian tale. It is written by Gerald McDermott, but it's actually a tale passed down from the Pueblo Indians for generations, and Gerald McDermott put it into a book so that we can all enjoy the cool tale from the Pueblo Indians. Long ago, the Lord of the Sun sent the spark of life to Earth. So here is the sun god up in the sun, and he's got a bow, and he shot the spark of life down a sun ray to the Pueblo Indians. It traveled down the ray of the sun and through the heavens, and it came to the Pueblo. There it entered the house of a young maiden. So there she is, that spark of life is coming through straight to her. In this way, the boy came into the world of men. So here's the maiden. Because of that spark of life, she had a baby. And then here he is, the boy. He lived and grew and played in the Pueblo, but the other boys would not let him join their games. "Where is your father?" they asked. "You have no father." They mocked him and chased him away. The boy and his mother were sad. "Mother," he said, "one day I must look for my father. No matter where he is, I must find him." So the boy left home. Here's the boy, the other Pueblo boys that would not let him play, and him coming home and telling his mom. He traveled through the world of men and came to the corn planter. "Can you lead me to my father?" he asked. Corn planter said nothing, but continued to tend his crops. I like the way the artist used kind of shapes that are almost pixely to make the corn and the other shapes. That's kind of the method that the Pueblo Indians would use. And if you look at other Pueblo Indian art, it's very similar to this. The boy went to Potmaker. "Can you lead me to my father?" asked the boy. Potmaker said nothing, but continued to make her clay pots. Here's her different clay pots with different patterns and colors, different shapes. And they would make the pots from the clay in the earth. Then the boy went to Arrowmaker, who was a wise man. "Can you lead me to my father?" Arrowmaker did not answer. But because he was wise, he saw that the boy had come from the sun, so he created a special arrow. The boy became the arrow. There's the wise man with all of his arrows and a bow. Arrowmaker fitted the boy to his bow and drew it. So here, before he did that, here's the boy, and he's changing taller. His hands come up and kind of make the arrowhead, and he's made into the arrow. Here's the bow maker pulling the bow back. The boy flew into the heavens, and in this way, the boy traveled to the sun. Here he is, going out of the earth, up through the heavens and the stars and the sky, up to the sun. When the boy saw the mighty Lord, he cried, "Father, it is I, your son." "Perhaps you are my son," the Lord replied. "Perhaps you are not. You must prove yourself. You must pass through the 4 chambers of ceremony: the kiva of lions, the kiva of serpents, the kiva of bees, and the kiva of lightning." So here he is landing as an arrow, and then he became the boy again, and here he is talking with the very colorful Lord of the Sun. The boy was not afraid. "Father," he said, "I will endure these trials." So here he is. It looks like there's 4 little houses with ladders going down into the chambers. And here's that first chamber. What does it look like? Ooh, does it look scary? Would you want to go in there with those looking things? Kind of look like cats. Ooh, the cat one. Okay, he passed it. Here he is. He finished the cat chamber, and he was able to climb out, and now he's going to the serpent chamber. Look at those serpents. They're bigger than him. Oh, look what he did. He kind of turned them into knots, made them eat their own tails. Ooh, and then he went into the chamber of bees. All those bees. Let's see, how is he going to endure that? Ooh, look, here's the picture. He made honey with the bees. And then here's the last chamber, the chamber of lightning. Oh, he's getting electrocuted with that lightning. But he created. When the boy came from the kiva of lightning, he was transformed. Ooh, what's going to happen? He was filled with the power of the sun, and out of that lightning chamber, look, a rainbow. Oftentimes after a storm, right, then we can see rainbows in the sky. The Father and Son rejoice. "Now you must return to earth, my son, and bring my spirit to the world of men." Now they're both very colorful, aren't they? And he kind of, in this picture, has like a rainbow head coming out of that lightning chamber. Here's the dad putting him back into an arrow to shoot him back down, the ray of the sun, down to the earth, down back to the pueblo and the world of men. So here he goes. Once again, the boy became the arrow, so he's shot going down the sun ray, and back onto the earth. Once again, the boy became the arrow, and when the arrow reached the earth, the boy emerged and went to the pueblo. The people celebrated his return in the dance of life. Here they are dancing, putting on their celebratory ceremony clothes. There's the mom up there, probably very proud and happy to watch her son be so happy. The end. So that was the arrow to the sun. Thank you for listening with me. And now we are going to make our sun catcher, our nature sun catcher. So because I'm out at camp, I don't have a table in front of me as I'm sitting in my camping chair. So I'm going to just use this lid and reach down and kind of get my thing. So again, this is contact paper. This is the clear kind. Okay, so you just find a roll of contact paper. You may have some already in your house. Otherwise, you'll have to go get some like in the kitchen section at the store. Okay, so you're going to take your contact paper. And you're going to take something of a shape. You can use a square. I'm going to use a circle. I have this little circular lid here. And you're going to want to draw on, there's two sides, okay? On this, there's this clear plasticky side. Woo! My roll's going away. Clear plasticky side is kind of hard to write on that side, but on the other side is paper. Okay, so I'm going to write on the paper side. The other thing I'm going to do is fold my contact paper over to make two layers, because you're going to need two layers. You can either fold it over or you can make two different circles and cut twice. Sometimes that's easier. For time, I'm going to make one cut. Okay, so I'm taking my circle shape, putting it down, and I'm going to trace around my circle on my contact paper. Okay, so I used a pen and I did a circle on my contact paper. Okay, now I'm going to cut my circle out with my scissors. That's why sometimes it's easier to do two circles and cut two out. But again, for time, I am going to cut once. But that's because I do a lot of cutting. And for the most part, I've gotten lots of practice in cutting. And I'm pretty good. And remember, when we are using scissors, these are tools and not toys, right? So we're not cutting anything except for our contact paper. Be careful if you're on a table with like a tablecloth or something. Maybe you should move the tablecloth so you don't accidentally cut the tablecloth. So here I am. I'm still doing my circle on my contact paper or shelf liner. All right, so I have two circles of contact paper. Here we go. Now you're going to put one down and leave one, and then you're going to take, I've already picked some flowers and some leaves and some grasses that I'm going to use for my nature sun catcher. So you're going to peel the paper part off the white part, or the clear part, excuse me. That might be kind of hard, so you could have your adult person help you. My nails got broke yesterday, so I had to trim them a little bit, and so sometimes it's kind of hard when you don't have longer nails to separate the paper from the clear. But here I got it. All right, so I've got my contact paper. One side is sticky, and one side is just like a smooth plastic. Okay, so the sticky side I'm going to stick up. All right, sticky side up, clear plasticky side down on your table or flat surface. And then, so what I did with my first one is I made a design. Can you guys see that? Try and put it up to the sun. I kind of took flower petals, just the petals, because if you stick a whole flower on there, it won't work very well. You need it to get kind of flat. So I took just the petals off the flowers and stuck them and then kind of made a pattern. You can do it however you want. Your pattern or yours does not have to look like mine at all. I found some teeny tiny flowers I'm going to stick on. Okay, so I stuck it on. Can you see? And now it's stuck. Now I have a little yellow flower, and I'm going to actually take all the petals off. And you can either place them each individually, or you can sprinkle them on, but you want each petal to be kind of in a different place on your sun catcher. And again, you can make a design if you would like. Okay. Looking for my other flowers. Here we go. I've got this one's got some bigger petals. So I'm going to take those off. Okay, each petal, and kind of stick it on the clear sticky contact paper. Okay, got some more. And then once I do these yellow ones, I'm going to show you. Stick them on. So this is where I'm at so far. I have some little yellow petals all over my sticky contact paper. Now I found some really cool grass, and I'm going to just line. I'm going to cut it a little bit smaller with my fingers. I can break it with my fingernails. You could use scissors if you need to, and just make some grassy lines going across my sun catcher. Okay. When you are all done making your pattern, whatever your pattern looks like, that's my other pattern. This is the pattern I just did. Doesn't have to be symmetrical. It can just be creative. Okay. So this one is going to look like this. It's some grass and some yellow flowers and one white flower. So I have my sticky side up again. I'm going to take my other circle, okay, and I'm going to take the paper off of that other circle. Now I'm going to stick the two sticky sides together, okay? So this sticky side is facing up, this one needs to face down, and you try and line your circle or whatever shape you're doing up, and do your best to line it up, and then smush it down, and try and smush all the air out. So here I have my clear contact paper with my flower petals and my grasses in it. Next, I'm going to take a hole punch, and I'm going to punch 2 holes near the top so I can hang this in my window and let the sun come through and kind of see my creation in my window. Sometimes it's a little tough to get through that plastic, so you kind of have to do it a couple times, or you could use scissors to make a hole. I may even have to come back to this with scissors because it doesn't want to go through for some reason. All right, let's see. I've got my yarn. So I've got 2 holes now, hopefully. Not quite. Oh, did my holes go through? This one went through. Nope, it didn't. Where did my scissors go? Oh, they're right on my table. So I'm going to use my scissors and fix this hole up. Make a little hole with my scissors so I can put my yarn through. You don't even have to do even yarn or string. You could just maybe take some clear tape and tape it to the window. That would be pretty too, and then you wouldn't have to hang it. So I'm going to put my yarn through my hole, and then I'm going to make a square knot, right over left, left over right, and make a little knot through one hole. Okay, now I've got this hole here. I'm going to make my string go through that hole as well. Right over left, left over right for our square knot, and boom. Now I've got a second sun catcher. It's really cool to look through the lights. It's kind of hard right here because I've got all my loftwally pines behind me here at Camp Tom Wooten. But when the sun comes through, what happens is the grasses and the leaves and things like that that are thicker don't let the light in. But sometimes the color comes through the petals, especially if you have a wide petal like that. Then the sun kind of comes through and you can see the purple really well. It's pretty cool, or whatever color. So you can see this one. The sun doesn't really come through the leaves, but it comes through the petals really nicely. So I hope you enjoyed our craft today and our story, Arrow to the Sun, about the Pueblo, or one of the Pueblo people tales. And I hope you will join me again soon for another story and some of our classes that we do. Both watch for Facebook, Tech Lab, Austin Tech Lab, STEM Camp. That's where we're going to be having lots of paid for classes for some Cub Scout belt loops, as well as other activities and some free other times. So I hope you guys will join us soon. The other website and group to check out is Capital Area Council Cub Scout Activities. That's another great page that we run to make sure that you all are having lots of fun and keep scouting while you guys are at home. And stay safe. Bye, everybody. Have a good one.